Ron's opinion don't matter. How's everything going with y'all? Just got on here, have a little conversation with the gun community. Oh man, just want to know how's it going, man. For me, life is beautiful. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the progress, the way things are going. But there's another part that's very concerning. And the concerning part of it is the level of crime and the level of shootings that has been happening in the city of Philadelphia and also in Chicago. And they're gonna label it gun violence. That's always the label that they throw out there. Oh, gun violence. It's gun violence. Gun violence. Guns don't have personalities. Knives don't have personalities. They don't have legs, arms. They can't just get up and do stuff. Someone has to pick them up and do it. So when you start talking about, oh, we need to ban and we need to control this or we need to stop this. No, we don't. We don't. The government needs to stay out of the way because you're putting citizens in harm's way. Is what you're doing. It shouldn't be expensive to protect yourself from criminals. But unfortunately, in mostly democratic cities like Chicago and California, Los Angeles, California, Philadelphia to some extent, some places even New Jersey as a state. I don't know. I don't understand why they don't get it. I really don't get why they don't get it. I don't understand why they don't tell the citizens of their community to protect themselves. I don't get it. They do everything to try to help criminals. City of Philadelphia, to take drugs is illegal. I'm not, what's going on? How you doing? God bless you. If you're on this live, please hit the like button. I appreciate it very, very much. But in the city of Philadelphia, I mean, they'll sit there and they'll say, well, we don't want to give people access to firearms. But all these people are getting shot. So where are they getting these guns from? They're not going in stores buying these firearms. What's going on? How y'all doing? God bless you. Fishing content. Ashley, I'm sorry, y'all. It's hard to see a lot of these names and stuff like that. So if I'm not mentioning your name, it's not personal. It's just I'm having a hard time seeing because I got the phone so far away from me. But God bless y'all. Thank y'all for coming in. Please hit the like button. Please hit that subscribe button. But I don't get it. I don't get why places like the city of Philadelphia, Chicago, don't tell their citizens. Why do they leave their citizens so suspect to the criminals and not encourage citizens to protect themselves against criminals? To sit there and say, oh, you don't need certain type of weapons. Here's my point. They say, you don't need this type of weapon. You don't need guns. You don't need this much in your clip. All right. So if I'm in Chicago and 44 people got shot, right? Yes, I am. 44 people get shot. 44 shot. Now, if I'm in that area where that person is shooting, they don't give a 2 cents about your rules when it comes to how much you should have in your clip. They don't care. Criminals never going to care about that. So what do you expect to happen when you're sitting there with 5 and 10 rounds in your clip, and they riding around and they coming in, they attacking you with 30 rounds in theirs? It doesn't make sense. You get up and you go to work every single day, right? Trying to make a living for yourself, trying to protect yourself. If you got a wife, you got kids, you're trying to make sure they're good, you're trying to make sure they're safe as possible. But places like Los Angeles, city of Philadelphia, and Chicago, and some of the other ones, they will sit there and these politicians will try to tell you don't need all of that. Like I heard them say it so many times. You don't need that. Well, you don't need this. You don't need that. What do you mean I don't need it? Who's going to protect me when something does happen? Where y'all going to be at? So if someone decides to rob me right now, let's say I'm walking down the street or drive, whatever. Someone decides they want to rob me. Where the police going to be? Where the politicians going to be? In that moment that something's getting ready to happen, where are they going to be? Where the politicians going to be? And I'm not saying that the police don't want to be there. They would love to be there. Most police officers would love to be there right before something get ready to go down and they can stop it. But if something happens, where are they going to be? Who's going to stop it? They can't. That's my point. They can't. You are your own protection. If someone was to come to rob you or do anything, some type of harm to you, you are your first defense. Because if you don't have a weapon or some form of weapon, you suspect to whatever happens. Yes, Tom, it is. It's up to you to protect yourself. What makes you think that someone decides they want to rob you and they say, before I rob you, I'm going to let you go ahead and make that 911 call. So go ahead and call for help before I rob you. And nowhere is that ever going to take place unless it's a joke. You know what? Call for help before I get ready to kill you. Call for help before I get ready to rob you. Like, this is why the logic a lot of these politicians use don't make sense to me. Oh, you don't need that. Why do y'all equate having a firearm just to hunt? Just to hunt? No. It's to protect myself, technically, against government tyranny. That is in the Constitution. So you're going to let the government tell you what you can and cannot have. Yeah. And my point is this, is that I tell people, man, don't, get the best you can have for it. Because I know firearms are expensive. Ammunition, all that stuff is expensive. It shouldn't be, but it is. But again, make sure you know how to use it. Make sure you're good with it. Make sure you learn all the safety precautions and stuff like that. But this is another one that makes me laugh. Oh, well, you should have your stuff locked up in a safe. Okay, if you got kids in your house, you probably should. You probably should. But at that point, when you put that gun in that thing, this is just my opinion. I'm not saying I'm right. I think I am, but I'm not going to say I am. You got yours locked up into a safe. Someone comes in your house. You got to get to that safe. You got to unlock that safe or hit the code, whatever it is you got to do to get into that safe. Some people got fingerprints. Some people got codes. And I'm going to tell you something. If you're a slightly panicky type of person, you're not going to get that thing open too fast. And you got to remember something. When someone comes to do something for you, they already up and ready and drawn in most cases. They already there. So all of these extra steps you got to take to protect yourself, you better keep that in mind if something was to happen. Because now you got to go to wherever you keep the safe at. You got to go to do... The only thing I think safes and stuff is good for is that when you know you're not going to be home, you lock all your stuff up. If you know y'all not going to be there, you lock all your stuff up. And the other thing is if you got kids, to some extent, yeah, I agree. But that's when you got kids and you can't always keep an eye on where your kids are at. But because some kids, no matter what you tell them, don't touch that, don't touch that. And for some kids, that means go touch that. So I get that part. But again, you still putting yourself to me at a higher risk when you have to go through all of these extra steps to do stuff. Should you conceal carry? Yep. Yeah, you should. Everywhere you go, whenever you go somewhere, you should. Now, there's some people that believe in keeping one in your chambers. Some say they don't. I think at least if you have one on there, you got a fighting chance. But if you don't, you open yourself up to whatever. And my point is, right now, look at city of Chicago. What's up out the pit? How you doing? God bless you. God bless you. Welcome in. My point is, look at Chicago and look at the city of Philadelphia. And listen, most people probably never going to know it, but 44 people in Chicago shot over 4th of July weekend. And Philadelphia is just doing the same. They're on the same street. So, and my thing is this, is that if you sit there and you let a politician, and then the politician's going to get up there and they're going to say, oh, we need to do something to curb gun violence. They always try to throw the gun violent part in there. Because that's the fear-mongering people to turn around and give up their guns, put their guns down, put your gun away, don't do this, don't do that. We'll protect you. No, you're not. No, you're not. And for far too long, I think American citizens have allowed the government to infiltrate way too far way too much overreach over the Second Amendment. Too much. Way too much overreach. What's up? How are you doing, man? God bless you. Welcome in. Sounds like, and my thing is this, is that, and you should have all of that. You should have all of that and more. And I'm going to tell you something. The reason why I say this, because I was one that was ignorant. Kid you not, I was ignorant. I was one of those people that just said, I'm not going to say I was anti-gun, because I was never anti-gun. But one thing I was like, you know what? I use my hands. I fight. Meanwhile, how you going to fight bullets? Because they not fighting. That's the whole point. These people are not fighting. They're not. They're not fighting. And that's why you should have reasonable, like most people have their different things like shotguns, maybe a handgun and rifle and stuff like that. I think you should have all three, at least. I think anybody as far as self-defense goes, home-wise, I think if you can afford it, because that's always the factor of can you afford it or not, you should have at least a shotgun, handgun, and maybe a rifle. Don't have to be, just a 5.56 or 2.23 or something like that. Just a decent rifle, a decent shotgun, and a decent handgun. And those are the three that I would suggest that, in my opinion, that you should at minimum have. Now, for the gun community, most people, once you really, really get into guns, they be like, nope, you should just keep going. Just keep going. No, you should have 5 handguns. You should have 5 this, 10 of that, 20 of that. Because most people that get into guns, if they really get into it, it becomes more of a hobby than anything, and you want to shoot different things, see how it feel. Some people don't like, it's too much recoil. I like the recoil. That's the recoil is exactly why I go to the range. I like the recoil. I like getting my shoulder when I go to shoot that firearm, and when I tuck it in that shoulder and they get that kickback, I'm good with it. I like it. Some people, they want something that don't have as much recoil and stuff like that. I like the recoil. That's why I like my rifles and my shotgun. Handguns, the recoil, I get it because, all that. But I like the recoil. That's why I like the more powerful the gun, the more interest I have in it. I wish I had a 50 caliber. 50 BMG. One day I'm going to get me one. And I don't have one right now. But I am going to get me one. But my 458 is satisfying. It got a lot of kick to it. It's satisfying. And then the 12 gauge shotgun, that's another one that's very satisfying as it relates to, getting some recoil. You're going to get a whole lot of recoil off a 12 gauge. But it feels good. I like it. I enjoy it. And then that's the part about owning a firearm a lot of times that doesn't get talked about very often is how enjoyable they are when you go to the range um, and you learning how to shoot, and you educating yourself, taking all necessary safety precautions, training, becoming a better shooter, becoming a better at owning your firearm, responsible firearm owner. There's a whole lot that goes on with that, and it gets ignored. Usually, when somebody never shot a gun in before, and in not every case, but if you take them to a range and they start shooting guns, they probably gonna get that itch. Like, oh man, I didn't know it was like this. I know, because they told you guns are so bad. They're the worst things ever. Guns are the worst things ever. Be careful. Don't, yeah, guns are very dangerous if you handle them wrong. You can hurt yourself. You can accidentally kill somebody. That's why you're supposed to take every necessary precautions. And even with all of the education that I have in the gun, and no matter how good you think you are, it can take one moment of lax of judgment where you can make a mistake. I mean, like I go to the range. Before I leave out that range, you make sure you clear everything out. Everything gets cleared out. Why? Because you don't want to pack up accidentally. You packing stuff into the bag. You accidentally hit something, move something. Anything can happen. So you always make sure you check, double check, triple check. Make sure you clear all your stuff out. That is what I do. I clear everything out, and I make sure we're good. Now, the mistake I make sometimes, and I've done this, and many a times is I've cleared everything out. Sometimes I'll empty all my ammunition out. I'm leaving the gun range with nothing. Like I got the guns, but no ammunition, because I done ran through everything. So I started getting in the habit of my concealed carry gun, the clip that I usually keep in there, I usually don't take it into the range. I take the clip out. I use another clip. The ones that I have with my thing, I take them out of my guns and I leave them in my vehicle if I have to. I leave the clips with there because I have a tendency to forget that I have them in there, and I done fired off everything. Well, now I'm leaving the gun range. I have nothing but a gun that I can, if something was to happen, all I have is a gun, but no ammunition in there. So I got in the habit of, take the clips, keep separate clips for your gun, for your firearm, and set it aside in the vehicle, whatever. Don't take it into the range. That way, if you empty everything out, when you get back into your vehicle, whatever, you got clips there to put back in your gun just in case something happened. I might decide to go get something to eat, might go somewhere, go stop somewhere, anything can happen. So for me, I just you gotta stop doing it. That's not good. It's not good at all. But I really wish that these democratic cities would stop doing the opposite of what really should be done and what really should be taught. If I was running these cities and I was a mayor of any one of these cities, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to store owners, and I don't care how anybody feels about this, because at the end of the day, criminals don't care. They don't follow laws. They never going to follow laws. They never going to do this. That's why they're criminals. That's why they carry that title, because they earned it. They earned it. They earned that title of being a criminal because they have criminal behavior. So when you start talking about, we need to make it harder for them to get guns. You're not making it harder for them to get guns. Every law that ever been written against guns does not affect criminals. It only affects citizens. That's it. Everyday honest citizens who wants to protect themselves, working and contributing to the system. That's who y'all making it complicated. And in some states, you might have a domestic situation going on where someone is threatening your life, and then you got to wait 3 days to get a firearm or whatever the wait time is. In them 3 days, you can end up dead. And they're not going to change the law because you ended up dead. Because in their head, that's just one incident. But if it was the reverse situation, they will blow it up like it was. If that situation was reversed and somebody was out there shooting a firearm, they would say, we need to control firearms because someone out there got shot by the firearm. But you guys always blowing that type of stuff up, but you don't blow up this type of stuff. If y'all would have gave that person the firearm the day that they bought it, they would have had a chance to save their own life or protect themselves from the person that was trying to kill them. But they won't do that part. What they'll do is they'll make it complicated for you. And I for the life of me, I don't understand why they keep doing this. Nothing stops a bad person other than a threat. And that means a good guy with a gun or a good woman with a gun is a bigger threat than a criminal with a gun, because the criminals aren't going to care. They're not going to care. A lot of these shootings, when someone's doing something bad, the police are nowhere to be found. But if you got a couple of good people with guns, they can stop it before the damage is done. But because these type of cities make it complicated for everyday citizens, that's why you had that problem. But if you had a lot more people that walking around with firearms, ain't nobody gonna want that smoke. You walk into a room with a baseball bat, talk about you gonna hit everybody, and everybody else got baseball bats. You gonna look around and say, "Nah, I'm not." You know, now everybody got a bat. No, I'm good. Same thing with a gun. And I'm not saying just guns. I'm using the gun as an example. You go into a place with a weapon and everybody else got weapons, you more likely you're gonna be like, "Oh, I picked the wrong battle." And if that happens often, you're gonna stop picking that battle. You say, "No, it's better for me to just go to. If I don't stop this, I'm gonna end up dead because I'm gonna pick a battle where somebody's gonna take me out of here." Why? Because I'm out here trying to rob and steal, but everybody prepared for me. That's it. That's the way it should be. Not you out here willy-nilly with these guns and trying to make it complicated for the everyday working citizen. Oh, we don't want you to have no gun. We don't want you to have no firearms. We want to make it complicated for you, send you through all of these heaps and bounds. Meanwhile, the criminals are out there making them in their basement. Whatever they doing to get them, they got them. And they not going to the store and buying this stuff. Y'all full of crap. No, they not. They not buying it. Oh, we don't want. They're going in the store. They got to do background checks. If you don't make it through a background check, gun store is not selling to you. That's it. If you fail a background check, they're not going to sell it to you. Now, if you have never been caught with a crime and you don't have no felonies or nothing like that, and you decide to buy a gun and go do criminal behavior, whether you purchased the gun or whether you got off the street, it still doesn't make a difference. Your intentions, no one's going to know what your intentions are until you actually go do it. But it's not going to stop them from being criminals. They just going to say, okay, well, I couldn't get it there. I'm going to go get it somewhere else. But if I had intentions of doing crime, why would I be stupid enough to go into a store and purchase it and do a background check? Meanwhile, that guns, if they find that gun and who did it, hey, top to bottom, how you doing? And meanwhile, when they find that gun and who did it, they're going to trace that gun back to me. Why would I go in the store and do that? Wouldn't it make more sense to just go get one and make yourself where nobody knows you have it, that it even exists? If you're going to go do crime? This is how stupid this government is. And these politicians are so out of touch with what's really going on. They out of touch. So when you hear people like Joe Biden and them talk that stupid stuff out of there, oh, what do you need a gun for? What do you need to do? You don't need all them rounds in your thing. You out of touch. You've been in politics so long and you've been protected by all that security and you've been living in all those gated communities. You are out of touch. You have no idea what regular everyday people are up against every single day. And that's real talk. So to sit there and say, oh, well, you don't need all these rounds in your clip. You don't need this in your gun. You out of touch. When I hear these politicians talk that way, they're out of touch. They totally out of touch. You saying that, meanwhile, the city of Philadelphia done had 40 people get shot. People in the restaurant trying to enjoy themselves. Next thing you know, something breaks out, people getting shot. Chicago, 4th of July weekend, all these people got shot. How they getting these guns? Chicago is complicated, but yet you got people with guns. But I guarantee you that if you had good guys with guns there, a lot of that wouldn't have happened. Somebody would have put a stop to it. But y'all don't teach that part. Y'all don't talk about that part. Y'all don't encourage good people to go get firearms to make sure that we can put a stop to bad people. Well, that's what we have police officers for. Seriously. And I keep saying it. You only have seconds. Police are minutes away, but all you have is seconds. How's that work? And you only have seconds if they're actually on the way. Because it's like I said before, it's not like, a criminal gonna give you the opportunity to say, go ahead and make that phone call before I kill you or shoot you or rob you or whatever. Call 911 because I'm about to rob you. Where is that? When does that happen? When does that happen? It doesn't. That's why I always keep saying, don't listen to these politicians. When they start talking about banning guns, banning firearms, keeping you away from, making it harder for citizens to get their hands on the firearm to protect themselves. When you start listening to these politicians talk, I'm telling y'all, you should not vote for them. That is one indication that they are tyrannical. Yeah, you're right. Top to bottom, hair and skincare is that's true. You're right. It is true because they're not gonna be there. If someone runs up in my house, God forbid, if someone was to run up in my house and decide that they're gonna maybe try to rob us or whatever the case may be, and they already coming in, if they coming in with guns drawn, I'm not gonna have time to call 911. I'm not going to have time to call 911. I'm going to have to do everything I can to defend my home at that moment, in the moment. Now, real talk, I feel sorry for them if they did, but exactly, because I'm not going to be fair about it. I'm dead serious. I'm not. It's not going to be a fair fight with me. If you come in my house and you come to my house, you're going to get everything I got. That's it. God bless y'all. God bless y'all. Welcome in. Please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Appreciate it very, very much. And that's real talk. What's up, Mike Sports Vibe? How you doing? Just for real. How you doing? God bless you. How's everybody doing? But yeah, that's real talk. Yeah, I mean, and that's, you have to look at it like this. And that's just looking at the city of Philadelphia and the crime going on in the city of Chicago and the crime that's going on. But there's the other element that you got, and I really believe we got sleeper cells in this country. Like somebody just have bad intentions and they waiting to make something happen. What's up, y'all? Thank y'all for coming in. Please hit that like button. And I really think we have sleeper cells in here. And I mean, you don't know where these people are, what their intentions are, when something going to happen. This is just me. I'm not saying I know for sure, but I just, in my opinion, when all of these illegal immigrants came over here, because I kept looking at all of these videos, and I'm like, these are military-age fighting men. All of these people are military-age fighting men coming in over that border. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm looking at these videos, and they trying to act like, wait a minute, these are men, 20 years old, maybe 25, 18, 19, 20s, coming across that border in massive growth from all types of different countries. And y'all not vetting these people. Y'all not checking them, making sure what their intentions are. Right. Y'all don't know what these people's intentions are. Y'all don't know what they're up to. None of this stuff. And a lot of these people hate this country because our lifestyle. Y'all, they don't tell y'all this part, how much a lot of these other countries hate America because of the level of freedom that we have over here that they don't, and they would love to come over here and make an example out of America. And they make an example out of America. They're going to try to make an example out of this country. And what are you going to do when something pops off? You going to listen to these Democrats tell you that you don't need all this stuff? You going to listen to these Democrats say, "Oh well, you only need 10 rounds in your clip. That's all you need, 10 rounds." This is what the Democrats going to tell you. All right. Meanwhile, they got military-age fighting men, right, coming over here. Now, they're not from this country. They giving them IDs. These guys go to buy a gun or firearm in America. They do a background check. Nothing pops up. They get ID. They do a background check. Nothing pops up. They end up with a firearm. Right here in this country. They go get ID, they end up with a firearm. Now they like, okay, now we got guns, we got ammunition. And I'm not saying that's how they're getting them. I'm just saying even if they went that way, we know they're getting them off the street, on the black markets and stuff like that. They could be right in your backyard, right in your community, waiting for an opportunity to do as much damage as possible. And everybody else is just sitting there as a sitting duck. Because everybody else is following the rules. Oh, well, they don't want us to have firearms, so we're going to leave our firearms. We're not going to buy firearms. We're just going to trust that the police and the government's going to protect us. First of all, this is just my opinion. I don't, because that's not black people's fight. Real talk. It's not black people's fight. Why should black people fight? First of all, for black people that's over here in this country, again, the black people that are in this country, they got here. I got yelled at for supporting. The black people in this country, we were brought over here on slave ships. That's not a voluntary basis. We didn't. Most black people that came in this country, Africans that came in this country, came over here on slave ships for the ones that came that way. Right? All right, so if I came from another country and I can't get back to that country, I'm stuck here. And that's the point that Trump was making, which I 100% knew this, is that that's where birthright citizens came from, because these slaves that came over here, they were stuck here in slavery. They had nowhere else to go back. You had to make them automatic citizens. Automatically. Because they had nowhere else to go back to. So when they say Trump is a racist, listen, that birthright citizenship, that's why it was there. And that's why he's enforcing it, because that's not for people to just sneak over here and have a kid and say they was born in America. No. That's not what it's for. So for black people, why would I fight that fact? Y'all didn't come over here on no slave ship. Why would I help you? And then the fact that black people over here helped build this country, y'all think y'all gonna sneak over here and get the very benefits that black people? No. That's not our fight. And then y'all over here burning my flag, burning my country's flag, and waving your country's flag, but you over here, but you don't want to go back to yours. Why would I help you? You are an enemy in my book. For any black person in this country that's an American citizen, when you see someone waving another country's flag, that to me is an indication that they're your enemy. So as a black person, why would you sit there and support your enemy? Because they're telling you their allegiance is to the country that they're waving the flag to. They're not waving American flags. They're waving the flag to another country. So why would you get behind somebody who's showing their allegiance to that country? Why they in your country? What you should be doing is whooping they behind for disrespecting your country. That's how I see it. You in my country waving allegiance to another country, disrespecting my country's flag. Oh, that's a problem. And why are we sitting there tolerating it? And they sitting there waving their flag, looking at Americans like y'all punks ain't gonna do nothing. We in your turf, waving our flag. That's what they're doing. We on your turf, waving our flag. What y'all gonna do? That's what it sounds like to me. And it's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. So why would anybody be okay with somebody coming in your country waving their allegiance to another country? But yet you don't want to leave. But yet you don't want to leave. Now here's the thing. You don't want to leave. You waving allegiance to the country. They're giving you an opportunity to go back to your country, but you don't want to leave this country, but you want to burn the flag to this country. Thanks, Mike Sports Vibe. Balling. You can't get no more disrespectful than that. Military servicemen fought and died to keep this country where it's at right now. But yet, we're sitting back allowing them to burn our flag and wave their flag and our turf. And then you got the politicians. Follow this. Follow along, y'all. You got the politicians who was voted by us trying to protect them who's waving their allegiance to that country. The politicians that are out there trying to protect them got voted in office by American citizens. So now the politicians are showing their allegiance to those countries too. Any politician that gets up there and tries to protect an illegal immigrant and watching them wave their allegiance to another country should be stripped from office immediately, because that right there is betrayal. Yep, they do. And in Mexico, they don't even want us there. But again, when it comes to my hometown, when it comes to my country, and when it comes to protecting our country, why in the world these politicians? What's up, man? Do Magic 47? How you doing? Again, what's up, brother? Hopefully you're doing all right out there. Why would these politicians who got voted into their positions by American citizens, right? Now, but they're out there trying to protect illegal immigrants who's waving flags and showing their allegiance to another country while burning the flag to the very country that they're in. And they're even at the point now where they're saying they want to take over America. And why are we okay with it? Why is it that our politicians are sitting back allowing this to take place? That's why I want them all going. I don't care. I want them all going. And I think we need to put a freeze on immigration. I think right now we need to put a 100% freeze on all immigration. Every last one of them. I don't care what a 100% freeze on all immigration. And I 100% focus on getting them out. And until we move as many of it out of here as we can, then we open up the immigration again. Until that, no one comes in. That's just me. That's my opinion. And I think that anyone that's out there showing allegiance to another country should be rounded up, packed up, and shipped to the country that you was caught waving the flag to. It's just my opinion. If they got you on video waving the flag to another country, they should go pick you up, pack you up, and send you and that flag wherever you waving the flag to. And you know what, 47? I agree with it. It might be, right now, I agree with the way it is. It should be difficult. I don't, honestly, the way I see right now, I probably wouldn't have felt this way 2 years ago. But the way I see it now, I want it to be difficult. This is just me. I'm not saying it's supposed to be. I'm just saying I personally want it to be difficult. I think it should be, and now I'm at the point where I want it to be more difficult because I don't like what I see. I'm out there in public and I don't like what I see, and I don't like what that could possibly become. And that's where I'm at. and it should be. And I think we both on the same page with that. And I see that you agree with I agree, and I agree with you agree that you agree, and I agree with that because I don't. Right, exactly. I just don't want. Listen, I don't care how anybody feels about this. It's just, and when I hear people say, "Oh, we should let them in, we should let them in." All right, good. Go take them to your house. And I use this analogy all the time. Take them to your house. You take care of them, and let them eat up all your food, eat up all your resources, and do everything they want to do in your home, and see how long that lasts. And you see, I think it's Bob. I can't really see it that well, but it looks like Bob or both. But you see what he said. And for people that go through that process, here's the thing. If I went through 7-year process, and I'm not saying this is 100%, but if it took me 7 years to become a citizen of the United States, that means I really want to be here. And that means I really want to not only benefit, but also contribute to the country. If you went through that much to get here, you want to be here. But too many times I've heard people coming over here, consuming up the resources, getting money and stuff, and then run back to their country, and they doing well over there in their country. That's not somebody that wants to be here. That's somebody who wants to come over here and take advantage of us and then run back over to their country. Oh, wow, man. That sucks. And my thing is this, is that as United States citizens, stop letting these politicians tell you what you should and cannot have. I'm not 47. Read what you're saying. And when I got to the flip flop part, man, let me tell you, and bro, listen, I know exactly what you mean, man. And I remember the job I was on, and you know, these people pull up to the truck and stop. First of all, the first thing that used to irritate me, you could tell that they was not experienced in driving a tractor trailer. You knew they didn't know what they were doing. It don't take that long to park a tractor trailer and ain't nothing in your way. 17 backups just trying to pull up to a dock, and I'm like, oh my god. That's after they got there, because I can't count how many times we get them phone calls they lost in the neighborhood, they don't know where they at. So how you lost and you got a GPS and you still lost? And like when Trump said they need to know how to speak English and stuff, I agree with him. And I'll be honest with you, I agree. And they should not be driving these tractor trailers. Now, there are cases already where they were getting illegal CDLs, getting a CDL license illegally. There's a whole ring going on from Florida to Pennsylvania where they was working it out, getting these people CDL license, and they driving tractor. They out there on the road with 18 wheelers, out there killing people because they don't really know how to drive and getting away with it. And you're right. They should be, Howard. You're right. And my thing is this. So I know in 47 talking about, I see they pull up to the dock, don't know how to speak English, don't know where they supposed to be, don't know what they got, they don't even know what they pulling out their paperwork ain't really right. I'm like, they got they supposed to have their shipping information, they got half, it was always a nightmare. So I know what 47 talking about. And that's just me working on the dock. I was just, man, it is so much the mess going on And my thing is this: anyone that came over here illegally, packed up, shipped home. I don't care if you committed crime or not. Honestly, if you came over here illegally, you're already a criminal because you broke the law getting here. So that's first and foremost. Send them back. Send them back. I want them packed up and shipped out. That's why I'm glad that they got the money that they need to do all of these deportations, to get the ICE agents that they need, to get the more money, the funding to go right where it's supposed to go. I'm glad. Because I want them gone. I'm sorry. I don't want. Listen, America got its own criminals. America already has. We have our own criminals. We have our own criminal element that we got to deal with. Why should we have to deal with other people's criminals too? I don't understand it. So if you come across that border, that's bam, you broke the law. So if you don't respect the law enough to come to America the right way, that already tells you what your intentions are. I ain't got to figure nothing else out. Go back home. Go back home. Send them back. Get them out of here. I don't care. I want them gone. And listen, for those people that think that they should be here, and you support that, go with them. Go with them. That's where I'm at. Go with them. If you live in America and you feel that strongly about protecting the illegals and these politicians too, I think we should pack the politicians up and the people that supporting them and ship them over there too. You can go over there. If you feel that strongly about it, go over there and make their country great. That's it. If you feel that strong and you think these people are worthy of being in America, why are they not worthy of being in their own country? If they that good and whatever it is y'all say they just doing, then pack them up, and the people that's trying to support them, send them all there. Send them all there and you go over there and y'all make that country great. That's all. And my thing is this: if America is so bad, why you want to stay here? If it's so horrible, why y'all fighting this? Why y'all sitting here waving another country flag, burning American flag, but you don't want to leave? Get out. Goodbye. Leave. They're making a way for you to go back to that country you waving all your allegiance to. Go. But this is the very reason why I keep saying, if you American citizens, make sure you good, because they put us they put a lot of American citizens in harm's way, and you done seen all of these people, these women that have gotten raped by these type of people. They done attacked the police. They done did all types of crazy stuff, and you still see these Democratic politicians trying to protect them. Let me ask y'all a question, right? Real talk. Real talk. I want y'all to think about this, right? How many times have Democratic politicians ran up to the prisons and jails to see what's going on in the jail system in the prisons when they lock people up in America? When they lock up American citizens that break the law and they take you to jail, why none of these politicians be outside the prison trying to see how y'all doing in the jail? But they worrying about illegal immigrants and how they live. How many of these politicians come to your community, knock on your door, and see how you doing? The ones y'all vote for. How many of these politicians, I'm not talking about like the presidents, and I'm not talking about those type of people. I'm talking about your local politicians. How many of these politicians actually go on, knock door to door and knock on the citizens' door and ask them how they're doing? But they got all this energy to go up to go to these places and trying to find out what they're doing with the illegal immigrants. Why does the illegal immigrants matter to you so much? And they never voted for you, but the citizens that put you in the position that you are, you keep giving them the middle finger. But let it be election time, they be knocking on your door 24/7. Soon as election time come, They all out there campaigning for your vote. When they get your vote, they disappear and they don't talk to you no more until they need your vote again. They can care 2 cents about you until they need your vote again. That's why listen, say what you want to say. And I keep going down this road and I keep going down this road. If I was to run for any form of office, I'm going to tell you something. And here's the thing. No one had to hold me accountable because I'm going to hold myself accountable. Because I give a darn about people. Now, in my opinion, this is just my opinion. If I was running, let's say I was the mayor of Philadelphia, right? I was the mayor of Philadelphia. And I'm just using it as an example. The first thing one thing I'm going to make sure I do is engage the community as often as possible to get a real picture of what's going on and what's needed. Instead of having people bring me stuff and I don't know firsthand what's really going on. These politicians are lazy. And listen, I ain't gonna lie to you, 47. I go back and forth about it. And I mean, I know it takes a lot to become a mayor or senator. You need a lot of money, you need a lot of support, you need a lot of this. And I'm not saying that it's off the table because it's definitely not off the table. And it burns me up. Yeah, I agree with you, top to bottom. And you know what, 47 and Bob, I'm feeling y'all, man. And don't get me wrong, it's still on the table. And it's not coming off the table. I know it takes a lot. And I have, once I decide I have to go full steam. I can't be wishy-washy about it. You know what I'm saying? And once I decide and I lay my plan out on what I'm going to do, I have to just go full steam. And that's it. But again, if I was mayor, back to my original point, I would make it a point not have people keep bringing me stuff because most of the time people going to bring you stuff that's in their interest. I don't care about that. I want to talk to people, working class, everyday, honest citizens that's living out here every day. I need to talk to them because I will get a full understanding of what is really needed and stop listening to these idiots that keep coming to your table. You never see your mayor in your town or your senators and stuff like that until something bad happened and they want to pull the media so they can make a quick speech and go back in hiding again. And I agree with you, talked about, and they really, really do. Because even with these exchange programs, I think it's that Korean lady, whew, man, who worked under government, the New York Governor Hochul, I think it was. And she was doing all that craziness. Oh, it ain't that hard, just for real. Honestly, it ain't that hard for illegals to get guns. And my thing is this, because they giving them ID. And then that's if they even go through the system. They don't have to go through that. They're going to get them off the streets. There's tons of guns on the street. It is estimated that there's about 100 guns to every one citizen in America. That's an estimation, but it's probably more realistic than that. So and all them guns are not just sitting in people's houses. They're being sold on the black market. There's nothing you can do to avoid illegals having guns, criminals having guns. They're going to get them. Because honest, everyday citizens are not out here shooting and killing people. Honest, everyday citizens, they're not the ones out there doing that stuff. It's the criminals. And that's how easy it is. It's not that complicated for them to get it. And so illegal immigrants can get them too. It's not that hard. It really isn't. It really isn't. But then the everyday citizen gets up and go to work, go do the whole process, get their stuff the right way, and they sending you through heaps and bounds. I believe you, 47. I believe you. And it should be. It should be. It should be. And everybody should. Everybody, if you're an American citizen, you should take full advantage of that Second Amendment and make sure you're good, because that's there to protect you against government tyranny. Protect yourself against citizens. That's just a byproduct of it. I mean, against criminals, that's a byproduct. That Second Amendment is written so you have the right to protect yourself against government tyranny. So why should government be able to tell you what you can and cannot have if it's to protect myself against you? You're not making sense. I elected you. You didn't elect me. You can't tell me what I can and cannot have. That's why I have beef with the Supreme Court. Every gun law that has ever been written should be scratched and gone. In every state, in every city, in every town. Why? Because all of it's unconstitutional. I don't even know why they're having this discussion. Every gun law that's ever written is unconstitutional. Why? Because you're a government. The Constitution is written against you. How you going to tell me what I can have? You're not making sense. I don't even understand the logic in it. It's against you. If you decide, the government decide to go tyrannical, how am I going to defend myself with a 6-shooter? How am I going to defend myself against the government with a 6-shooter? It has nothing to do to protect myself against criminals and stuff, and that's a byproduct. The Constitution, Second Amendment, is written against the government. So why would I let the government tell me? And you know what, 47, I've given that advice to give me, but I do have, the one thing I do have to do is I'm going to have to, I will have to build a small team in my area of people to make sure that I'm prepared. I mean, I know there's a lot, and I'm not, like I said, I'm really not taking this off the table. This is something that's been on my mind for a long time, even before I started doing YouTube. I don't like politicians. I have my fair share of being around politicians. I don't like them. Their energy, a lot of their energy, and I'm just talking from a personal experience. Their energy is so criminal to me. It's ridiculous, and I don't like their energy. And my thing is this, and I'm not saying you have to be perfect. Your life has to be this or that and that. That's not what I'm talking about. It's just that I can almost sense their intentions are bad. It's all wrong. And rarely do you run across a politician or someone that really cares about people enough that want to see people do better. And I appreciate it, brother. And the day I pulled that trigger, you, my brother Jay, and a lot of the other ones that's on my YouTube page, y'all will know it firsthand. Now, in the city of Philadelphia, you're not going to win as a Republican. I would actually have to run in the city of Philadelphia as a Democrat. That's the only way you're going to win. City of Philadelphia is such a stronghold when it comes to voting Democrat. The only way, I'm not going to change how I speak. I just will have to run as a Democrat. But I'm not changing my policy to Democratic ways. I'm going to beat me. But I will have to run as a Democrat. That's the only way I will win. Even had a shot at winning. And if I was to do it as a mayor in Philadelphia, the only way I would win, I would have to run as a Democrat. But I'm never going to change my stance or where I at. And they just want y'all even gonna have to change your stance to my stance, because my stance is not changing to y'all's. And I'm not saying I know everything, but I'm not doing that. Philadelphia is a stronghold when it comes to Democrats. Like you had to be a fool to run as a Republican. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can I ain't gonna say I can't flip the script because I probably could if I put enough time and effort in there. I learned a lot watching Trump's campaign. Honestly, I learned a lot. And if I took a lot out of his playbook, I probably could. Yeah, and I agree with you, 47. You're right. I would have to do what I have to do. And I would have to, you're right. You're absolutely right. 47. I would have to do what I had to do in order to get where I need to get. And then the results will make the difference, be the difference. Right. And and my thing is this, is that I would have to, I'm not going to change my stance. But in Philadelphia, you got a better shot at running as a Democrat than a Republican. Now, if I would have, like I said, I would have to take a good chunk out of Trump's playbook because watching what he did taught me a lot about running a campaign, as far as how he ran his campaign. Trump was doing rallies all the time. He outpaced his candidates. The people that was going up against Trump, he outpaced them. And that's one thing everybody took lightly is that he was rallying 2 to 3 times a day. Nobody's rallying like that. Yeah, that might even be a better idea. That was actually thrown at me by my brother too, is running as an independent. And I think I like that idea better. I think the independent will probably I would probably make better headway as an independent or a Democrat than to say Republican, because for some reason Philadelphia just thinks Republicans are racist. I don't know where they get that from. I'm not saying that there's no Republican racists out there, but the city of Philadelphia, the people in the city of Philadelphia, they just think when you say Republican, in their mind they think KKK. I don't know where that come from, but that's what they think. Hey Joyce, how you doing? God bless you, Joyce. Welcome in, welcome in. If you're on this live, please hit the like button, please hit the subscribe button. But yeah, I keep throwing it out there, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I keep throwing it out there, and I keep throwing it out there. And like I said, it's not off the table. It is something that burns inside of me. I don't know what it takes. I'm gonna be honest with you, I am oblivious to that process. Like I have no clue what that process is, because as much as I would love to do it, and I think I will be, I'm gonna be honest with you, and this is not being cocky, and it's not being overconfident, nothing like that. I know 100% that if I ran and I actually won as mayor in the city of Philadelphia, it will be amazing. I already know it. And be honest with you, I'm gonna be honest. This will be me once I put everything into play and be able to try to do what I need. And I know I'm gonna be met with ridicule and stuff like that. After a while, I'm gonna be like this. Told y'all. See how easy that is? See, told y'all. And see how easy that was. See, it wasn't that complicated. It's all you had to do. Now y'all got the roadmap of how to make the city better. This is the roadmap y'all need to do and how to make the city better. See how it ain't that complicated. And I'm gonna be honest with you, just like Trump is making America great, I'll be making the city of Philadelphia great. It will be the best city of Philadelphia has ever been, because I will make full sure that it is. Real talk. And it ain't that complicated, believe me. And after my 8 years, because I think you only can be 8 years, 2 terms, they'll probably be trying to fight to keep me there longer because of how great Philadelphia will become. And I know I would. First thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to clean house. Because I'm going to be pissing a lot of people off. Because I'm going to be downtown getting rid of a whole lot of fat. And then that's how I know it's going to be hard for me to win. Because a lot of people that will vote for me are city workers and stuff like that. But I'm going to get rid of a whole lot of fat. Not the things that's needed, like the trash department, the police department, and stuff like that. No, I'm going in City Hall. And I'm going to get rid of the fat there. I'm going to start cutting fat out of City Hall, because I know a lot of them ain't getting paid. They're in the City Hall and they getting paid to do absolutely nothing. You better be able to justify what you do. I'm telling you, I'll be running Philly. When I go into Philadelphia, they be calling me like, I'll be like Joe Clark. If you ever seen the movie Lean on Me, I'll be like Joe Clark. As soon as I come in, I'll be just starting stuff, stirring everything up. But I want to see what it is. And once I get finished cleaning the house and see where the mess is at, then I'll start bringing the city back. And next thing you know, Philadelphia will be one of the greatest cities, and be one of the greatest times of Philadelphia ever had. Yeah. And that's what I would be. I had to clean house because I know that there's a whole lot of corruption in Philadelphia. And I don't want no corrupt people around me. I'm not taking nothing from the citizens. I'm going to give it back to the citizens. I'm not destroying my community and looking out for people so they can come in there and try to swindle the real estate and the houses from people and making cost of living in Philadelphia go up the roof. I'm not doing none of that. So I already know that financially wise, I'm going to probably have to run a broke campaign because I don't want none of y'all money and I ain't going to do nothing for y'all. And my job is to look out for the everyday hardworking citizens and the businesses in Philadelphia, the citizens of Philadelphia, and the hardworking citizens of Philadelphia, and the honest people of Philadelphia. Criminals will be on alert with me. You might want to get up out of town right now because once I win, I'm locking all y'all up, and it is no holds barred with me. Simple as that. And that's what it's gonna be. Thank you, Joyce. That's what it would be with me. I don't want that. I want to show the city of Philadelphia and the people in the city of Philadelphia how great this city could be, and I want to make other cities jealous and say, man, I want to move to Philly. They killing it over there. They're doing well. It's beautiful. And I'm not saying I can't go somewhere else and run. I'm just using the city of Philadelphia as an example because that's where I'm born and raised in. And I there's a lot of me that like Philly, and then there's a part of me, but I don't like the politicians. I just don't. Yeah, they do. And listen, I think Philadelphia has the potential to be great. Problem is, who would want to go to Philadelphia right now? Like, honestly speaking, if you was getting ready to go on vacation to any city, let's say you was getting ready to take a vacation, would you want to go to a vacation in the city of Philadelphia? Anybody on the live, for what you know about the city of Philadelphia, if you was getting ready to take a vacation, would you want to go take a vacation in the city of Philadelphia? And top to bottom already said no. 47 said no. And that's my point. And okay, Howard said he would just want to see Independence Hall, and I agree with you. And you know what, top to bottom, that is my point. Why? Listen, my point is this: is that right there should not be. The statement that top to bottom just made should actually put all of us on alert when she said, honestly, there's no city I would really want to visit. Why should our cities be looked at that way? And that's my whole point. Yeah, hey, how you doing? A word away from here. God bless you. Welcome in, welcome in. Please hit the like. And that in 47, you're right. And listen, I grew up in Philadelphia all of my life, like all of my life. I don't go downtown for nothing. Downtown Philadelphia is exactly where the Liberty Bell and all that other stuff is at. I don't go down there for nothing. Listen, my house is still there. My family is still there. I'm in Philadelphia quite often. I'm not far from Philadelphia now, but I'm in Philadelphia all the time, quite often. I still have a house there. My mom still lives there. My brother still lives there. My family lives there. So I have a lot of family in Philadelphia. Like that's my name. There's a part of me that love Philadelphia, but there's a part of me that like, oh my goodness, it's horrible. And so when you look at that and you like, man, and I know I could. And my thing is this is that, but again, when these politicians, even the mayor they got right now, when they win these elections and they get elected, they ignore the whole community. They ignore, and my thing is this: even now, all right, the city of Philadelphia is on strike. The trash department is on strike, right? This is how idiotic these people are. The city of Philadelphia, the trash department is on strike, right? So, city of Philadelphia is the third largest city in the United States of America, right? Approximately 1.5 million. I think it's a little higher than that, but I'm gonna just go with the 1.5 million residents, right? The trash department goes on strike. They put up 63 location dumpsters, what they call location, but it was just a dumpster. 63 dumpsters around the city of Philadelphia for people to take their trash to until the strike is over with. I will 47. I definitely will. I will definitely. I will let everybody know that I'm. I didn't pull the trigger on it, and and now I'm running. I definitely would, bro. You and everybody else that be on my lives, the loyalty. I appreciate y'all coming and doing all this, and I appreciate y'all loyalty, spending time with me. Sometimes listen to me ramble off. Sometimes I'm saying some good stuff. But here's the thing. The city of Philadelphia put these dumpsters out, and they put out 63 dumpsters across the city of Philadelphia, saying this is where people take the trash at, right? Not a day later, not even a day, it was so much trash that by far exceeded all the dumpsters. I'm like, what made y'all think that y'all could do this with 63 dumpsters? You're not even close to fixing that, to trying to handle that problem. I'm like, why would y'all even do? Y'all got all of these abandoned dirt spots that nobody lives, that you could have majority of the people to just drive there and drop their trash off and go home. Why would y'all do that? And then the trash is still piling up, still piling up, still piling up. The second thing the city of Philadelphia could have done to handle the trash, I would have put way more locations than that, by far more. That's number one. The second thing I would have did, I'd have said, listen, the city of Philadelphia, I would have said, well, I would have tried to get people that got trucks and stuff and said, listen, we'll pay you to go through a block and pick up the trash and take them to dump sites, a major dump site that we can take a lot of this trash at. You got people in the city of Philadelphia that own pickup trucks that will find a way to make some money. Until y'all handle this contract issue, I'd have said, you know what? We need to pull some money from somewhere, and we need to pay these people that got pickup trucks and stuff like that, and we'll just pay them to pick up the trash and drop it at a major dump site until we can handle this contract, because the trash is piling up everywhere. Why wouldn't you do that? To clean the city up and to keep the trash at a minimum, they didn't do that. There's so many places in Philadelphia they could have dropped hundreds of dumpsters that won't affect no traffic, they won't affect no citizens, where they lay, they wouldn't be smelling it like that, and they could have had people that have vehicles and cars say, listen, you bring your trash, you dump it here for now until we did, and they could have set it up where there's rows of dumpsters, and they put one police officer there and said, you got to monitor this and make sure people put it in the dumpster. That's all. Make sure they put it in the dumpster, and then call and make sure the dumpsters are moving in and out on a regular until we can get this handled. Because there's a waste management company in Philadelphia that's not the part of the trash department. We got waste management that's not part of the trash department. But it only makes sense to me. And I'm like, who are these people y'all keep me voting for? This is not a hard fix. But these same idiots was trying to spend $100 million to build some drug facility to house these drug addicts. And I don't have no people with, well, my thing is just you chose to do drugs. Ain't nobody making you do them. But again, you want to spend $100 million to house drug addicts. And then you're going to staff this with people that's going to have more pay. And some of these people are going to make 80, 90, probably $100,000 to sit there and watch drug addicts take drugs. That's your solution to fixing the drug problem. Sometimes I don't even like to talk about it. Common sense is just not so common anymore. You know what I mean? Top to bottom, hair and skincare. But I'm going. This is where your blood starts to boil and the frustration starts to set in, and you're just like, you can't make this stuff up. This is the leadership that we got in the office. This is the leadership that we got in the city of Philadelphia right now. Wow, that's how it makes sense. And they don't know how to do anything efficiently. I don't care what you say. Politicians don't know how to do anything efficiently. And I'm going to tell this one story before I get off this live, and I'm going to try to make it as quick as possible. Job I was on, we had to move the warehouse. We had a 180,000 square foot warehouse that we was moving to the state of Delaware. We were moving it out of Pennsylvania to the state of Delaware, right? The owner was extremely cheap. He waited to the last minute to get this stuff done. Me and 5 guys packed 120 53-foot tractor trailers and moved the whole warehouse in 30 days. Actually, 26 days. With 5 guys. Massive amounts of freight. Packed it up, shrink wrapped it, inventoried it, packed it on trucks, and ran 6 to 7 trucks to Delaware. Now, here's the thing. I had to go from once in the state of Pennsylvania and drop all an hour and a half to Delaware, too, because I had nobody in Delaware. But we managed to get all of that done in 26 days. That's how efficient I know how to work when I'm up against the gun to get something done. Figured it out, came up with a system, put it into play, and we had to take one warehouse down and put it back the way that we originally rented it out, get rid of steel, racking, and everything else in that, and then set up the operation at another operation, and we did that in less than 30 days with 5 guys. But you got somebody that in the city of Philadelphia that's the mayor that makes almost $270,000 a year. You can't figure out how many dumpsters you need to try to cover this trash situation y'all got going on. But I'm getting ready to get up out of here, y'all. I appreciate everybody being on this live. I really, really do. I got to go. I got to eat. I ain't nothing all day long. I think I didn't. I don't remember. But I appreciate you, everybody coming in. Please, like I always say, please make God first in your life. Anything and everything I say don't mean anything without God, without Christ in your heart. That matters the most and the most utmost. But everything I say don't mean nothing. That matters the most. Make sure you have a relationship with God. That is the important part. And with that said, I'm about to get up out of here. Y'all have a blessed, wonderful day. And I'm out of here. Peace.